Hey, what's up everybody? Magic here. Quick editor's note. Vinny recorded this preview for the weekend assuming that Saturday's races were going to be Saturday and Sunday's races were going to be Sunday. And then as I'm sitting here editing the video, well, Naira had to cancel because of all the floods. We hope everybody, all of our fans and friends in New York are doing well, that you're safe. We kept Vinny's video here in place as it is, as he recorded it. Just know that when he's talking about Saturday, it's really Sunday's races. And he was talking about Sunday, it's really Wednesday's races. The fields are staying the same. The race numbers are staying the same. They're not redrawing everything. They're just changing the days. So, quick editor's note now. Go enjoy some winners from Vinny.
Hey everyone, it's Vinny, and I'm back with what looks like another wet weekend at Belmont at the Big A. Hopefully this time we don't lose the entire card. We lost all of Saturday's card last week. Hoping that's not the case this week, as I really like Saturday's card, so let's get into it. First off, I'm going right to race number 3. It is the Grade 2 Vosburg, and Cody's Wish is going to be he's 1-5 on the morning line. He's going to probably be 1-9 by post time. The only reason that I am hesitant is because of the wet track on Cody's Wish. If the track really is wet, I think the number 4 Accreditive for Chad Brown has a legitimate shot here. He's 2 for 2 this year. He's got some early speed, whereas Cody's been slow out of the gate all year. If it's a fast, wet track and speed holds, Cody's gonna have a hard time catching a horse like that in the stretch. So I'm not gonna only play Accreditive on top, but I am going to play Accreditive on a win bet. He's 9-2 on the morning line. He's probably going to stay around that 9-2 price. I can't imagine he gets bet down with Cody in here. So that's where my win ticket is going. I'm going to play the exact both ways with Accreditive on top of Cody and the other way around. Only doing that, though, if it's a wet track. If it is a dry track, I do think Cody just rolls this field. But on a wet track, I think we could probably get like 6 or 7-1 on that exacta with Accreditive over Cody. And the other way around, I think it's probably only going to be like $3, maybe even less. But I'm going to hope that Accreditive on a wet track can spring the upset against Cody's Wish, who is coming off a subpar effort in the Whitney. Moving on to race number 5, it is the Grade 2 Gallant Bloom Stakes. And this is another one where I am anticipating a wet track here. If it's not wet, I am going to be on Carmel Swirl. I'm a huge fan of Carmel Swirl. I know she's the favorite. But on a wet track, I think the number 3 Undervalued Asset, again for Chad Brown, is very interesting here. She just missed last time out in the Charlestown Oaks over a wet track. She's bred for a wet track. I don't think there's any reason why, if the track is wet, she is not backed a little bit on the money line, and I think she's a very logical play on a wet track here. I am going to key her on top of Carmel Swirl if the track is wet. If the track is dry, I am going to key Carmel Swirl over Undervalued Asset. I think Undervalued Asset runs well either way here, but on a wet track, I do think it will elevate her just enough to get into the winner's circle against this field. Moving on to race number 7, it is the Grade 2 Woodward, and this is the last chance I am giving Zandon. I hate that he's 2-1 on the morning line. I don't think that morning line sticks. I think Charge It is going to end up being the post time favorite here. Charge It is 7-2 on the morning line. I think they kind of flip and Zandon goes off second choice, which is why I don't mind playing a win ticket here on Zandon. He's done nothing wrong all year. He's just run into some monster efforts between Cody's Wish a couple races back and then White Abario in the Whitney. Zandon's done nothing wrong. He just keeps running second. And for that reason, I'm gonna key him in an exacta. I'm gonna key him with the number 1 Charge It, the number 3 Algiers, and the number 6 Coscatera, if it is really a wet track. Charge It is just, if he ever puts the pieces together, he's a very solid horse. He just never puts the pieces together, it seems like. But on the off chance he does, he could run big. He also ran 4th in the Whitney behind White Abario, Zandon, and Cody's Wish. It was a very small field, but he really didn't run all that bad considering how that race shaped up. So can forgive charged a little bit for that last effort. And the number 3, Algiers, was second in the Dubai World Cup earlier this year. Just a classy horse. He's got over $3 million in career earnings. He's 6-1 on the morning line, which is very generous, I think, for a horse of his caliber. And Buick is here riding, so kind of elevates him a little bit, in my opinion. So one that I don't want to leave off the exacta ticket. And then if the track is wet, I will also be adding Coscatera underneath for on that ticket. Coscatera just ran great all summer on a wet track at Saratoga. Really needs it to be wet, though. I think if this track if it's drying out or anything, he's not. I think he's a toss. I think he really needs a wet track. It's the only time he really runs above like sub average is when the track is wet. And it's the only way I'm giving Coscatera a shot. But I'm going to key Zandon in this exacta. I'm going to key him on top, and I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it reverse and key him second. I think Zandon either wins here or comes in second, and I really think he needs a win if they're thinking of sending him to the Breeders' Cup Classic in November. So Zandon is the number 4 in race 7 on Saturday. Now, going to Sunday's card, fingers crossed that they're still on the turf here. The races I picked out here are on the turf. I like both horses, even if the races come off, but I prefer them on the turf. The first race I'm going to Sunday is race number 5. It is the Miss Grillo Stakes, and the number 8 Gale brand for Belmont is where I am going here. She was 2 for 2 this summer at Saratoga, and her last effort in the With Anticipation was one of the top, I would say one of the top performances of the meet at Saratoga. She just absolutely buried that field. And on the chart, it doesn't really seem like it. But when you watch that replay, she was the only one really moving late. And she looked very good. She impressed me that day. I'm willing to give her the nod here. And I think if she wins here for Mott, I do think there's a serious discussion of sending her to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf come November. She is the number 8 in race number 5 on Sunday, Gala brand for Belmont. Moving on to race number 7 on Sunday, it is the Grade 2 Pilgrim, and my old friend number 3, A Gate Road, is back for Todd Pletcher. I've been on this horse in both his career starts so far. He is 1 for 1. I'm not stopping now. I think this horse has a serious chance to be a very good horse for the rest of this year and turning into a 3-year-old next year. His turn of foot is just spectacular. His issue is getting out of the gate. Both races this year, he's made up a ton of ground in the stretch. He just missed in the off-the-turf race in his debut, and then he made up 5 lengths in the last furlong or so in his second effort to win. He was bet down that day, so I am sadly expecting him to be bet down a little bit here. I don't think he gets bet down more than like 2 or 3 to 1 against this field. This is it's a big field. It does have some other runners in it. I just think A Gate Road has a chance to be pretty special. He's back at 1 mile and a 16th. He's won at this distance already. He does need to be a little quicker out of the gate, though, in my opinion, against this caliber of field. His last race did not come back super strong, but that turn of foot, I think it's something special, and I'm willing to give him a nod here and hope that when they turn for home, he's just moving far better than everybody else. He's the number 3 in race 7 on Sunday, and that is A Gate Road for Todd Pletcher. Five stakes races that I've picked out for my best bets this weekend at Belmont at the Big A. Hoping the weather is not too bad. Hopefully all the races actually run this weekend, unlike last weekend. But best of luck if you are playing, and I will see you next time.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track. Summer's here, our picks are heating up. We want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel right now. Click the notification bell. You don't want to miss a single one of our awesome videos. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.